Hello and welcome to Dragon Tavern, reviewing the old school Dungeons and Dragons cartoon from the 80s, episode 8, Servant of Evil, with myself, Oliver, Dungeon Master, and
Dave.
He's speaking sexily and whispery just for you.
I just wanted to try something different, and
Sure.
you kind of ruined it by making it pervy. So. We're talking about a wholesome show called Dungeons and Dragons animated. Oh, it's not called anime; it's just called Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
episode 8.
It's the wonderfully wholesome and
Servant of Evil. Did you
increasing.
really say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Increasingly, frustratingly vague and ill thought out cartoon that is the bane of my existence, but we do these constantly because you guys really enjoy us torturing us by making us watch them.
Hashtag leave Eric alone. I don't understand. I've looked at the last few phrases of little reviews, notes that I put.
Yeah.
Everything ends with taking a dig at Eric.
It's true. It's true.
Eric's the only one that's saying, this is ridiculous,
Yeah.
we shouldn't do this, the DM's an idiot. Let's just go and find a way out of here without listening to it. And everyone's like, come on, Eric.
Yeah. Basically, he's the only one going, why are we still jumping through hoops for this Dungeon Master kidnapping dude? Seriously, he's messing with us. And there's some great examples in this episode of how the other characters just do not think through their actions.
So anyway, there's a castle above lava.
Yeah.
It's
big fuck-off prison.
It's a big prison that Venger has.
Yeah.
And there's Karuk there, he's a prisoner.
Yeah.
And the reason why he stays around is because Venger knows where his family is and is going to kill them if he leaves.
Yeah. So essentially, we've got a slave of Vecna.
There's more dwarf prisoners as well. Let's just mention that.
I'd also like to point out, later in the episode, we see hundreds of just weird creatures that Venger has imprisoned. A, why is he imprisoning them and just leaving them in rooms? That serves no purpose. And B, how do they personally, kidnap hundreds of things?
I also don't get how they're casually nonchalanting walking out when they're free.
Also,
they're just like, okay, let's stroll out.
Yeah, I've been in here for how many God knows years. Also, at one point, I'll get to it. So essentially, we start off with the party. It's Bobby's birthday, which makes no sense because have they been keeping track of the dates?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do they know the time?
They're in a
or the
completely
date?
different world. Is one of them seriously being like, okay, right now it's March the 4th?
Yeah, I bet you it's Eric, because he's the only one that actually has any logical sense. He's just like, alright, we need to keep track of this.
Oh, cool. Then, okay, Eric, slightly weird, gives Bobby for his birthday a box of, sentient peas.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they were.
I put bouncing peas, and then for a second I looked at it, I was like, that can't be... And then I realized, yes,
That's what it was.
Exactly
These
right.
weird little pea creatures that he opens it up and they run away, and Bobby's like, well, I have to find them now because it was a birthday present. And it's like, well, no, you don't have to. That's just weird on multiple levels.
It's like, why do you have to find them?
Why would you go oh, that's my birthday present, back in a second.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Bobby fucks off to go chase the sentient peas.
And then these lizard men attack, which conveniently wait for one party member not to be there. They don't scout. They're just like, all right,
let's just do it.
Let's just the minute they find them, they catch them. They don't bother counting, despite the fact of Venger probably told them to go get them.
Yep.
And then he probably said, there's X amount of children, make sure you capture X amount of children.
They're just like, hey, good enough. They also, the party's like, we're totally going to handle this, and then more show up and they're like, oh, completely quit, just resign, we're fucked. And then they just get kidnapped, and then they're gone. Bobby comes back after searching for the peas for no apparent reason, and Dungeon Master's just sitting there, just like, welcome back.
I put DM messes with Bobby. He's just like, so Bobby, I know I have these magical powers, but I decided not to do anything about this situation until you have arrived back here as an amulet.
Yeah.
What's the amulet for? You'll find out.
And it's like, I could have, went to find you because all your friends have just been kidnapped and I'm facing imminent death and torture, but nah, I just thought I'd hang out here in the same place they were kidnapped without actually doing anything about that to wait for you to return so I can tell you that all your friends are gonna die.
So, they're in the prison, and I've got in my notes, team just insults Eric again.
And Eric's like, guys, this is all Dungeon Master's fault, he could have helped us. And then Bobby is like, well, I guess I gotta go find them with this amulet. And
they escape out of their cells so easy.
Yeah.
I put worst prison security ever.
they show up, and the other prisoner's like, oh, by the way, I have this hole that I've been building, and it's complete, and it's perfectly square, and somehow no one on the outside of the building has noticed this.
And they kind of escape, but then they kind of get out of their cell, then realise that they got nowhere to run, and then they get captured and put in the cell again. But they somehow get out later on too.
It makes little to no sense. And also, this whole time, Bobby, along with Uni the Unicorn, who still bleats like a goat for some reason, just managed to find Venger's prison like that and just get there. And it's like, how powerful...
we have to start saying Venger.
Venger, what do I say?
We keep on saying Venger like Venger Boys, and
That's
someone got
probably
really
why.
annoyed in our comments for doing that.
That was a damn good band.
Venger.
So Venger, like, has this, like, death prison.
I
and
got
Bobby's
like
just
Venger still wants to steal the weapons.
Yeah.
We've learnt when he gets the weapons, he doesn't really know what to do with them.
That's true. So he's kind of like, oh, well done, weird lizard dudes who for some reason follow me. You got all that. Wait, where's the club of the barbarian? And they're like,
We forgot to count.
we should have listened to our boss, who's probably going to threaten us with death if we don't do
The
what he
one
wants.
time we finally achieve what our boss wants us, and we
unbelievable.
mess it up.
The best thing later that happens is Venger attack Venger, whatever the fuck it is.
Venger, not Finger Boys.
Venger.
Not Venger Boys.
So Venger like goes and like Kirok is like teams up with Bobby and then
Yeah.
he's like and then Bobby realizes the amulet that Dungeon Master gave him is an amulet that can negate all of Venger's powers. And he's like, I might use it once and then give it to Kirok.
Yeah.
Are you insane? Are you out of your mind? Literally an
And
artifact.
also, Kirik's been there for years.
Yeah.
And I mean, all of a sudden he's like, see this one kid, and he's like,
I'll do
"Alright,
it now. I'll do it.
I waited all these years playing it safe so my family doesn't die.
Imprisoning doors.
But this 9-year-old has some good points.
And then Bobby's like, if I give you the amulet, that means you might.
But he didn't
live.
know he had the amulet at the time he decided to help him.
No.
And
And
it
then
was
he's like,
yeah, right.
Okay, you've literally been given an artifact that makes you immune to all of Venger's powers. And you're like, let's give it away.
All you need to do, Bobby, at this point, wait for you need to use his horn that he can teleport anywhere.
Yeah.
Teleport there, meet Venger, kill him. And because it negates him, he can't hurt you. Just kill him.
Unbelievable. And then Eric's like, what? Why did you give that away? And Bobby's like, but Dungeon Master said some vague thing at the start of the episode,
And
which I tied into my experience.
And Carrot rebels, and when someone rebels, there's a golden bloody lava dragon.
Yeah.
What?
So
Don't know.
apparently
It is.
Venger can just go, by the way, summon two-headed lava dragon.
That was but you send little lizard men after these guys, but you have the ability to summon lava dragons.
You had lava dragon powers this whole time and not used them once. Then Venger makes the goddamn volcano explode. Apparently that's also something that he can just do at will.
Yeah, so they explode the castle, as you do. Venger becomes smoke and goes, I'll get you next time.
After he teleports, apparently he's got that ability as well.
Yeah, and there's weird prisoners. There's some weird... that don't even make any sense,
No,
some
there's
of them.
weird
frog fish kind of...
creatures and this anteater man.
I mean, I understand locking them up if you've got a problem with how people look, but...
Yeah, seriously, I'm so done with this cartoon.
And then they make another dick at Eric, and that's mean.
And then the episode ends, and my life is just filled with void and meaningless despair.
You once told me you like this show.
I like the frustration that it causes. It makes me feel alive.
You sound like an angry masturbator.
I'm an angry masturbator. It makes me feel alive.
Let's hope that you don't do that during the show.
So, that's it. That's the inexplicable episode where Dungeon Master fucks with them even more, and Bobby gives away the most powerful artifact that could possibly save the entire world to some dude called Kirok.
And that's the episode once again, and we thank you for watching our review of that show, and please leave a comment if you want to hear the next one.
No, please. Free us.
Because, I mean, there's only 29 episodes, and we're about 8 in. So we could do it, and plus the last episode we get to reenact because it was never produced, it was just a script. So we get to do that.
I don't know if we can.
You don't have a choice. Thank you all our Patrons for donating to our Patreon. We really appreciate you make the show happen, helps us keep on bringing out new content. Make sure you subscribe, because if I point at that enough, you actually do that. And also, hi!
And save Eric. We're being too mean to him. He's the only logical member of the entire
Do you
group.
know in Baldur's Gate there's a thing that they all died?
I do, you've said that before.
No,
It's
you've
very dark.
said that before, you brought it up on a show.
It's dark.
I know.
Thank you guys. I hate my life.
I'm okay with it. You hating your life.